So after the biggest patch, patch 5, dropped, we were able to look at stats that were released by Larian, as is customary, regarding many of the conventional things, most popular races, classes, origins, how many people completed the game in honor mode, etc., etc. And although it didn't surprise me one bit, I was nonetheless very disappointed by the results we saw with respect to the races. As you can see, we have elves in number 1, humans in number 2, half-elves in 3, very close, tieflings, so on and so on, until you get to half-orc, Githyanki, and then the last 3. The 3 races that are considered shorties, right? Nobody wants to play them. Now, there are reasons for this, and I think a lot of it has to do with most people self-inserting, and they can't self-insert into a short race. However, I'm making this video to convince you that if you want to do honor mode, you're probably best equipped to do so with certain sub-races within the short races, because they have abilities that allow them to do things that other races do not. And that can be very, very useful. So let's launch into it. The first sub-race I'm going to bring up is the Duergar. Now, I've already made a video endorsing the Duergar, so I have to repeat myself, but I won't take as long as in the previous video because I want to get on to the other sub-races. But Duergar get, most importantly, unlimited invisibility. That means you're in a potential position to get surprise advantage on every encounter that you have in the game, with very few exceptions, because you are invisible. Attacking out of stealth, and even more so out of invisibility, will give you, in the vast majority of cases, surprise advantage, which gives you extra attacks, which will also give you the overwhelming advantage in combat. On top of that, they get the enlarged spell, which isn't a big deal, but they also get superior dark vision, very useful for a variety of builds. More importantly, they have advantage on saving throws against illusions, but most importantly against being charmed and paralyzed. And that happens quite a lot in the late game. So Duergar are an absolute powerhouse when it comes to the potential of completing honor mode without any problems. The biggest deal, again, being the unlimited invisibility that they have to offer, in contrast to every other race in the game. But I've said enough about the Duergar. There are 2 other sub-races that will be excellent in honor mode. The next S-tier sub-race that is super good for honor mode, that will greatly increase your chances of completing the game in honor mode, is the Deep Gnome. The Deep Gnome offers you 3 very large advantages. 1, you get superior dark vision. That's the best thing you can get in the game. 2, you get stone camouflage, meaning you have advantage on stealth checks, which is going to be very important as you try to get surprise advantage and take advantage of situations in the game. Having advantage on all stealth checks is very useful. However, the most important advantage they have, which they share, by the way, with the other gnomish subraces, so rock gnomes and forest gnomes, is gnome cunning. You gain advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. This is a superpower. Less so for the intelligence and charisma, but definitely for wisdom. Why? Because there's so many important wisdom saving throws involved when it comes to resisting mental domination, charm, and a host of other saving throws, both inside and outside of combat, and only the gnomes have this. If you combine this with superior dark vision and stone camouflage for advantage on stealth checks, then you have an absolute powerhouse of a subrace to get through honor mode. Final subrace that is a powerhouse, an S-tier subrace for completing honor mode, is the Lightfoot halfling. Why? Well, just like the Deep Gnome, they get naturally stealthy, which gives you advantage on stealth checks, which is always useful for creating surprise attacks, for avoiding detection, you name it. Halflings also get brave, which gives them an advantage on saving throws versus being frightened, which is not terrible, it's quite okay. But the true superpower of all halflings, and I combine this with naturally stealthy with respect to Lightfoot halflings, is halfling luck. When you roll a 1 for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can re-roll the die and must use the new roll. Well, this is possibly the best ability in the game, hands down, no question asked. Why? Because anytime you roll a 1 in Baldur's Gate 3, you will fail. If you re-roll that, by definition, unless it's another one, which is very unlikely, it is going to be better. And the trick about honor mode is you can't save scum, you can't reload saves, you have one opportunity. If you roll a 1 in a dicey situation with any other race, you are potentially screwed. Not so with the halfling, even more so with the Lightfoot halfling. because halfling luck will also help them on their stealth checks. This is an absolute superpower, and you should definitely consider playing a Lightfoot halfling if you want to complete honor mode. Now, having said all of this, of course, it's not required that you play any of these S tier Shorty races, or sub-races to be more precise, in order to complete honor mode. Many people have, it's not a requirement. But if you want to increase your chances, all these races are really great. And this is obviously true for the normal game as well. In honor mode, you have one shot, one opportunity. Screw it up, you could be permanently screwed, and that's it. Which is why you should seriously consider trying out one of the sub-races I've mentioned. I know people seemingly hate dwarves and gnomes and halflings. It's clear in the data, but give it a shot, and I think you will not regret it. They are great. Shorties are made to dominate honor mode far more so than any other race. As always, thank you for tuning in. And if you like my content, you can leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And I'll check you out next time. Take care.